This time on Rat and Cat, snowberries. Are they poisonous or a great survival food? Welcome to Rat and Cat, where we search, survive, and explore. I'm Nikia. This last week I was really surprised to hear that a woman gave a presentation on wild edibles at my son's school and said that snowberries are edible. And she popped one in her mouth and said, "Look, see, I didn't die." And I thought, what? That's completely different than anything I've ever heard. Also, I've seen on a couple websites lists of wild edibles, all kinds of things that I thought were poisonous, that they're listing as not poisonous or just mildly acidic or mildly toxic, and that they're okay to eat in a survival situation, or a lot of times just saying they're just okay to eat. I'm thinking that's really different from what I heard. And so I've been researching it, looking on the web at different sources, and everything that I can find says that the common snowberry is not edible. I mean, you can eat it, and it actually has mild toxicity, but it causes diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, and lethargy. And especially kids that are young can become quite lethargic and passive with it. And there's only 2 recorded people that have died from eating snowberries, but that is not the main reason that people don't die from eating snowberries. The main reason people don't die from eating snowberries is because they're so busy puking and other stuff coming out the other end with the snowberries. It makes them really sick. And so I'm thinking, as a survival food, I think snowberries would be one of the last things that I would want to eat, because, you know, you think about it, one of the biggest killers out there is hypothermia, or the effects of hypothermia. And with hypothermia, you're getting cold, you're getting dehydrated. That's a big part of it. And if you add that to something that's making you dizzy when you're already starting to lose your mind a little bit, and you're already feeling sick, and you're already dehydrated, and you're going to start vomiting and having diarrhea, then that's going to be a serious problem. You're just adding more to it. And it seems like there would be so many other things to eat. In most cases, it'd be better just not to eat. And then I was looking, okay, so where did this come from? And I've seen a number of different things on different topics pop up on the internet like this lately. And I think we live in the information age, but not the age of wisdom. I've said that before. But I just see a lot of misinformation out there. And so I like to research where that comes from and where I think it comes from. And what I think people are misinterpreting this as is the creeping snowberry, which grows starting about Washington State on north up into Canada. A smaller berry grows low to the ground. The common huckleberry, of course, is white and pulpy. It's just soft and mushy. Really, yeah, it's like eating a really almost mushy apple. It's hard to describe. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. The seeds are really, it's seedy, yeah. But those are the differences. And the other snowberry is the creeping snowberry, or the Moxie berry, can be eaten and is actually supposed to be really good for you. Let me back up 1 second here and say that snowberry actually has some medicinal purposes too. When I was looking into it, it's a natural antibacterial, and it inhibits bacteria from growing. So it's been said to be used for eye infections, to stave eye or cure eye infections, or cure or be an antibacterial for wounds. But because it has that toxicity, got it out, it can actually cause a rash around the wound or whatever. So you want to be careful, rash or welts or other allergic reactions. And I think that's one thing that people need to take in mind when you're looking at these berries, that the berries that don't taste great, that we don't eat a lot, there's usually a reason for that. That bitter taste is usually a toxin, some sort of a poison. And actually there's some research into this, that these toxins and poisons can be used like for medication on a limited basis, or elements of them. So there's some neat research going into that, although not nearly enough, but it's exciting to hear and think about. But Yeah, I definitely want to stay away from that. I didn't realize too that Snowberry is actually a relative to the what's that called? I've got a fly that just landed on my camera lens. I don't know if you can see it, but it's distracting me. Shoo. So the common snowberry is actually related to honeysuckle. And actually when Lewis and Clark were coming through North America and the West Coast and exploring and mapping, they noted the snowberry, and they hadn't seen that before at all. They noted that it was related to the honeysuckle, and those guys were really smart. They had to have a ton of knowledge, and so they wrote that down. I think they actually took samples back east and they were planted there, and I want to say, I can't remember, it seems like they gave them to one of the presidents. He really thought they were amazing with the white berries because they're so unique and unusual. And some of those have been taken back east to Europe, where they're used as a decorative bush as well. But the Moxie berry has an interesting story as well. The Moxie snowberry, because it was used for medicinal purposes and still is, and is also being studied for how it can be used as a medicine. Creeping snowberry is also called Moxie or Moxie plum, which in one Native American language means medicine. And that is where the name for Moxie soda comes from. It doesn't actually have snowberry in it, but it had some other roots in there that the creator thought was medicinal, and so they called it Moxie soda. During the 20s, they did a big campaign where I think it was Get Your Moxie on. That guy's got Moxie. That's where that saying comes from. I remember hearing that term when I was a kid. I haven't heard that for forever, but that's where that comes from. So interesting side notes there. But I am not going to recommend that my kids eat snowberries, or that I eat snowberries, and I sure hope that you don't. If you have a different idea about that, I'd love to hear about it. And please leave your comments below, like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you next time here on Rat and Cat. If you like this video, you might also enjoy the playlist that I put together, Odd Things That Kill People in the Wild and How to Avoid Them. I'll put that link right here.